Hi everyone and welcome to Army Review. We're your hosts, Jack
and Dan.
Today we have a very special guest, Simon from Rally Point Games of Mind.
Hi lads, hi everybody. I'm Simon from Rally Point Games and Minds.
Very nice, mate. Thank you so much for coming on. We've got a lovely painted army to go over the day.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Today we're going to be going over what you've built, what you run, what you like, and we're going to pick it apart in a very nice way.
Pick it apart.
Put it back together. Yeah.
Okay.
Going to make it, going to mould it into the best thing ever.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
No.
I've come for an army MOT.
Yeah.
Yes, that's that good way of putting it. Very good way of putting it.
I mean, in exchange, we're going to have to get some painting tips because they look stunning, like really nice.
Yes, they're so good. I mean,
Yeah.
on brand as well, all purple.
Oh,
for you.
yeah.
All purple,
Yeah, it's
purple
very
on
nice.
purpose.
Purple. All the peas. but yeah, so basically, what was the idea around the list that you brought today?
You mentioned painting.
Yeah.
So I started off with, I'm a busy dad, so what is an easy army to paint?
Yeah.
And Necrons, I think everyone agrees in the community, they're one of the easier, aren't they?
100%,
Because you can get that base coat down, you can get the shading in,
Yeah.
then you can get two highlights, and you're absolutely cracking. You're already in the zone, aren't you?
Yes,
with
you
Necrons, and that really appealed to me. But it wasn't just that. It was right back when Necrons first came out, and where they were the very stiff-looking molds with the green plastic rod that kind of stayed in if you were lucky.
Yeah,
and all
that
that.
pop that you had to glue it every now and then.
Yeah, and they were really truly alien. They were really Xenos, where all apart from Tyranids aside, a lot of the Xenos factions were a little bit humanoid.
Yeah.
Okay, they're two legs and everything, but the and as the new plastics came out, where the more twisty tendrils and spikes and coils and things there was, the more
Personality kind of.
yeah,
came
it
out
really.
inside.
So it was very much the painting and just the visual, and then just the coolness of the reanimation protocol.
Yeah.
That kind of
Core
zombie
stable
horde.
Necrons.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an Age of Sigmar zombie horde army. I'm sure there is person to get out. That kind of like, I'm just going to do attrition of numbers, and we get up because we cast spells and they get back up again. And it had that. The Necrons had that kind of feel about them.
Definitely.
So that's why I started with Necrons.
I mean, you talk about the paint scheme and you see how it was one of the easiest ones to paint. They are, but you've done a very good job. You've got the nice little gold on purple and some purple highlights. They're a nightmare to do the highlights on purple.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, thank you. I think the purple on the energy bits and bobs, whatever those are called, the globes and spheres
Power
and
batteries
stuff.
for the Necrons.
whatever they're called. We're not supposed to know. It's forbidden technology, isn't it? Heresy,
Xenos stuff,
heresy to
you know.
the expert. So there was literally a few experiments with after putting that purple base coat down and giving it some purple ink, Tricari Violet, I think it is.
Yes.
Nice.
That's the one.
You like that?
It's a good
Get some
shade.
thumbs up over here.
Yeah, and then just experimenting with different pinks that is it the Lame medium? I'm
Yes.
rolling off the
You're getting these
product
names.
names,
Spot
aren't I?
Lamian, what's
Lamian
going on?
medium.
Yeah.
Lamian's also a Drukari.
No, of course you would know.
unit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, of
That's
course
two
it is,
thumbs
yeah.
up now. We're on a roll here.
And just
Dan
concentrating with kind of layering it and dropping little bits of lighter lilac and then getting up to bright dots of really bright pink, and then having that kind of swim and mix in that Lame medium, so it goes swirly rather than
Right.
so it goes
like it.
amorphous. There's no edge to it.
Yeah.
And then letting it dry, then coming along and doing that again with the lighter colour, and then finally putting that gloss glaze over
I
it.
know it's the
Gave it,
glass case.
gave
it's
it the
very nice.
depth.
Yeah, it's
good.
lovely.
and on the purple with the monolith, that was my friend Tom, who is he's the what would you call him? Not owner, creator of Slayer Miniatures.
Yes.
He's a good friend of mine. Lives down in Plymouth. Super lovely guy, and he had some really good quality dry brushes.
Oh, nice.
Dry brushes.
Brushes,
Dry
yeah.
brushes.
Bristles. Whatever they're
Bristles.
called. Yeah.
Furry things that are really fluffy.
Yeah.
Wooden sticks with very, very furry things on the end.
Yeah.
And I said, I've never really used a dry brush to dry brush for.
Of course, yeah. It's
I've
like,
just,
maybe like edge highlighting kind of thing with your
I've
normal
just
brush.
gone easy with a normal brush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, give it a go, give it a whirl. And it was it was just a
Night
wow
and day.
moment.
Yeah.
So that made dry brushing just a lot easier.
Yeah, I think people underestimate how good a good brush actually is. Like, I know you look out there, there's like,
Yeah.
you can spend loads of money on brushes, but like I typically just go through those little cheap ones so regularly because I want a good brush to kind of do what I want. So just to churn through them.
Yeah.
I'm a cheapskate, so I'd watch some videos of people saying, "Oh, you can dry brush with makeup brushes." So I keep buying cheap makeup brushes, do that.
Yeah.
And then I bought some army painted dry brushes. I'm like, this is not the same. The
not
actual
the same.
dry brush is a different
Yeah, they're
world,
better,
isn't
aren't they?
it?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah. I've been guilty of every time my wife throws out a makeup brush or a blusher brush. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll have that.
I love that. Yeah.
But but they've because they're ex makeup brushes, they've got makeup in them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
It's not working.
Is that why you went with purple and pink?
I had to commit. One happy
more
accident.
brush.
Oh, purple it is.
I guess it looks nice. Oh, very nice. Very good.
Yeah.
So in terms of the list itself then, what do you think's really good about the list that you've made?
For me, it's fun, and I like it because the units I've put in there have come from reading the what are those Necron novels called now?
The Infinite and the Divine, that one, was it?
That one, and there's the Twice Dead King.
Yeah, Twice Dead King series. Yeah,
they've all got Trazin in them.
Yes.
He's a common character.
Yes, yeah.
And
he's one of the best written characters in the whole of the Black Library, in my opinion.
Yes, he is my favourite character out of all the Black Library. Absolutely, Eisenhorn close second.
Yeah.
And Ibram Gorn a close third. But for me, Trazin's that grumpy old man that obsessively wants to collect everything.
Yeah.
And that demeaning nature.
Are we talking about me or
that demeaning nature to all of the races, all the fleshy races, all the youngsters that have come up from nowhere. Reading that, I really liked. So Trazin had to be in.
Yeah.
He had to be in.
He's the first one added to the list.
Yeah, I'll start with him.
Yeah.
But that's unusual because a lot of your viewers who have got a meta army will be like, oh no, he's not worth the points. He doesn't deliver. He doesn't do the work, etc. But no, I had to have him in. So it was like, if you start from a character with the sticky objectives ability, and then you go, right, how can I exploit that and use that in a game?
Nice.
So that when Trazin's on the field, what is he collecting today? Is it that Bloodthirster? Is it that Land Raider?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. Does that drive you when you're playing as well? So like you're kind of like, right, Trazan's there, he collects things in the lore. I'm just going to go around and he's going to be able to take out units because I want to collect them. Is that what you think as well?
I'll commit him when I probably shouldn't because
what would Trazin do?
What would he want to take away and take home and put in his museum?
Yeah.
Well, it's not going to be that rank and file there, despite not winning me 10 points. it's going to be that vehicle over there or that construct over there. He's going to take that home and put it on the shelf.
Your opponent's like, hold on, that's mine, and you're like, no, this is mine.
It used to
be
be
for keeps now.
And so the Hypercrypt Legion kind of lent itself to where you need to be able to put Trazan somewhere where he can use his sticky objectives and move him around.
Nice.
I like that as well.
And so that's
also very thematic for him, where he just appears like, aha, I'm over here, I'm over here.
It's like it adds to his kind of character to be like, I'm all over the place. I can do what I want. No, that's very good.
And that's why the Deceiver's there, because in one of the stories, he and Orican they try to
one up each other, right?
I think it's Orican. Orican starts to think, I can control this shard of the Deceiver, and you think Orican and Trazan are in charge, and without too much of a spoiler, they're not in charge as they thought they were, as their arrogance would lead them to believe.
Funnily enough, the clue is in the name of the Catan shard, isn't it?
Yes,
he does a very good job.
It's very good.
So let's just say without spoilers, there's a relationship, a working relationship, if you like, between Trazin and the Shard the Deceiver. It seemed natural to bring her along.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Again, but not out of all the Catan, not the one that most people bring.
Not the meta pick.
It's true.
No.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting pick as well. Like, again, we'll talk about more later, kind of what ones I would pick, which one you would pick.
But I think one of the things I really like about that is is the balance that you've struck between fun and playability. Because if you take a super fluffy list and it just gets shot off the table in turn 2, it's not fun. You have to try and strike a balance.
Either, is it?
No, very true. Yeah,
Travel this way to
Jack would love to table me in 2 turns.
That's what I aim for every game. I'm like, how can I ruin his day?
Oh, that's good to be open. Yeah.
But you seem to have found a good balance in this between like bringing those like really it's a really thematic list, but also you can still have fun with it on the tabletop, I think.
So it's got elements of meta in it. So it's got the 6 Wraiths and the Technomancer. That's a classic, isn't it?
One more combo, isn't it?
Yeah, very durable.
If you want to take an objective and have some durability, I can kind of forget about them for 2 turns.
Most of the
like,
game.
You can misplay them and be like, oh, it's okay. Like they're going to survive. Like I'm going to reanimate them, bring them back and do other things. So,
I've often found I overcommit them, and then
it's the movement that throws people off. They're like, I can throw up,
So in my last game, they went steaming into far too many Orc boys. I'm like, so they're not durable then. Not when you've got 40 attacks.
What am I
doing?
doing?
They're going down.
Okay. So is it safe to say that you're more of like a random kind of player, or do you play more tactical, more aggressive?
I like the idea. I'm not saying I achieve this, but I like the idea of an army list that is difficult to use. I like. So I haven't got a Gene Stealer cult army, but that kind of army or
high skill level.
High skill level. If you make a mistake, it's a house of cards is all going to come crashing down. If you don't make a mistake, you're
like
on.
Perfect.
You
feel good about yourself. Like, I've done something really good today.
So, that's an aspiration. So now the trouble is, my brain in the middle of a game, I will forget more rules than I remember. I will make so many mistakes. So I've never really got that. This is a complex army. This is a 1,000 Sun sorcerer list, and I can use it. I've never got there. Luckily, I make as many mistakes to the other player's advantage as I do to mine. I make
happy little accidents.
And it's nice that way because your opponent can go, oh yeah, it's not just pretending to be forgetful.
You're playing it off like, I was meant to do that.
I forget things that would take. Would be to the detriment to my opponent. I forgot to do that as well. I was like, I know you did. You didn't remind me. No, I know I didn't.
Tables have turned. Very nice. Very good.
And you mentioned it's a hypercrypt attachment. We think, I mean, obviously that's a solid one. It's one of, competitive wise, it is a good one. Definitely. And interestingly, I think you're talking about making mistakes there is, it can also help you get out of trouble because you can literally pick your models. It's almost broken in a way because you can at the end of your opponent's turn and go, actually, I don't want that there anymore. I'm just
why have I deployed this here?
Like, you've got out of a transport, then disembarked, then done a stratagem. Now you're in my face. I've got to get out of here.
It's hard.
I wouldn't like to play a hypercrypt. I wouldn't like to be on the other side.
I've played it once or twice, and I have like I do like clench my hand. I'm like, I can't believe he's moving them units. It's like the Grey Knights when you move towards them and they teleport away. You're like, oh damn! And it's like when I do that for my Necrons, I'm always like, oh yeah, I'm just as bad. This is my own fault. I caused this.
The last tournament we went to, neither of us took Necrons. You took your Knights.
For
a run out, and I took my Dark Eldar, and we both played Necrons and came back and went, oh, Necrons are really quite good.
Feisty.
Lethal hits.
Yeah, we should get into
those. We should start a channel on that.
But it was nice to be on the other side of the table too.
Yeah, because obviously playing them, I mean, you learn so much when you play them, but actually versing them, I do learn a lot more.
Probably learn more.
When I verse those and they were taking them away, I started to think like, I've now got to think, what are they going to move away? So the charges that I want to do, I need to get them done, because if I don't get them done, they're most likely going to teleport those units away. So it's that mindset of like, I could risk the charge or go for a safe charge. It's like, right, now they've got the hypercrypt, I'm gonna go for the safer charge. That's kind of how I play nowadays.
And I think I like what I like about the hypercrypt is it fits with the thematic stuff as well. But equally, as you were saying before, I don't believe there's very few units in the Necron Codex that are just trash. I mean, we might over exaggerate sometimes. We talk about the Canoptic Spider or something like, these are rubbish.
Yeah,
but they're not.
We're just mad. We're passionate about them.
But the most units are usable, and if you lean into what they do, and I think Hypercrypt with your list, Hypercrypt helps you do that, doesn't it? Like you were talking about the sticky objectives, but with the other units, I think you can also lean into making the most of the Deceiver, for example.
So I mean, one of the reasons why I brought this army for you guys to look at is to get your sort of more expert than me. You won't. I know you won't like to be called expert.
No,
I know you won't.
I'm definitely
if
not.
I try calling you
I'm
Necron
now,
expert, you'll be like, no, that's not us. That's not us. But more expert than me is a mantle maybe you can carry. And there'll be some of your viewers there who are certainly more expert than me on Necron. Some true fair
and us as well. So like, obviously, anything that we talk about, pop in the comments below. But
So I've come here to hear what you have to say about it. And I need to see what your viewers will say about it. I don't want to go. I'm not a tournament player, never will be. It's not for me. So I want to stay in the fun. Mm-hmm. But if this is an army MOT, what would be my advisories?
I like
it.
I
like it. Yeah.
It's like you don't want to pay extra. It's like just what are the what do I need to look out for? I don't want to fix anything. Just what do I need to look out for?
Yeah. What would you like me to go and have a look at? So the Deceiver, for example. I love the model. Yeah. I love the narrative. And I'm loath to remove her because of that. Yeah. But just like in the stories, and as her name would suggest, she has never really been the most valued. So it's almost as if I'm into psychology, so the brain's a confirmation engine. Yes. So as soon as you suspect something, you will only see evidence to support it.
Absolutely.
So I have
confirmation bias, isn't it?
Yeah. So I suspected several months ago that Deceiver was deceiving me, and that model is an unlucky model for me, right? Or unlucky unit, because she never. I'm like, right, I'm gonna get there and contest that objective, Yeah. And then you'll move her over there, but then she'll start rolling bad numbers. You're like, what?
Ones.
And the objective will fall, and it's almost as if the dice gods and luck and everything have gone, Deceiver's put on a good show, but not actually brought up any goods at all. It's exactly what a shard of the Deceiver would do in the narrative. Yeah. You can't criticise me because I did what you said. Yeah. It's not.
This kind of that hidden agenda type of
thing. It's like a little genie kind of thing. It's like, you wish for this, but I'm going to sidetrack you with this kind of thing.
You wanted me to kill Ghazghkull Fracker. Well,
he's going to die, just not now.
I will, but in turn 3, where you were thinking I'd out off him in 1, didn't you?
It is an interesting model. It's not my first pick out of all the Catans, I will be honest, because whenever I see Catans, I mean, the Deceiver's cool. I like the model. The model's fantastic. I mean, what you've brought the day as well. This is, where'd you get this model from again?
That was 3D printed by a friend of mine called H.
Yeah, it's so much nicer than the actual GW model. Yeah,
it's like maybe this big, the original one.
And the base size is the same size as the Void Dragon.
Yes.
I didn't want anyone to go,
that's it.
I'm like, hang on, I can justify it because it's the same as the Void Dragon base and made it about that size.
It's like,
as well.
People can't complain because you're not modelling for advantage, you are
disadvantage.
Modelling for disadvantage at this point.
Yeah.
So it's a very good model. Again, I don't know about you, Dan, but would you pick this one for your list?
No, I mean, well, let's run through the full list just before we get into that, and then we can everyone can know. Because obviously we haven't got that is not 2,000 points on the table as most people have probably worked out by now.
Yes.
So we've got
HQ wise?
Yeah, HQ wise, you've got a Chronomancer, and you've got an attachment here as well, an enhancement. Sorry, so the Osteoclave Fulcrum that's the deep strike one, isn't it?
Yes, I'm going to say confidently.
I'll say confidently. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
I written Irish. It is.
We've got the Shard of the Deceiver, along with Trazan. We've just mentioned, but you've also, who I'm assuming is the Wall. He isn't the Warlord because Imhotep is also in this list, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the Warlord. I think he has to be
because he's Imhotep.
I think he has to be. Yeah.
That also kind of feels about right. It's like Trazan is like, well, you can think you're in charge, but I'm actually in charge.
And also in the lore, Trazin has no love for the Silent King.
Yeah.
So
it kind of fits very nicely with Imhotep.
So he's team Imhotep.
I think Trazan's just like, I want to collect things.
He's only out for himself.
I don't care whose team I'm on. I'm just like, I just want to collect things.
Yeah, he's got his own thing going on for sure. And then we've got a Plasmancer and a Technomancer, which we've already touched on. But Trazyn, as you mentioned, he's not considered to be meta, but if you use him in the right way, he can. I mean, 75 points is not
quite
expensive,
canny.
is he?
No, he's not.
He's quite canny.
Yeah.
He's all right in a scrap.
Yeah.
I think he's got no range at all. I think from memory, but that's okay because he's with a big unit of 20 warriors and a chronomancer.
Yes, correct.
And so how many of your episodes do you not say cosmic precision?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, right? It's like a hobby now.
So you can cosmic precision.
Yeah.
Or you can deep strike. Is it the chronomancer that's got
Chronomancer's got the deep strike?
Oh, okay, so that's Trazyn's chronomancer.
Yeah.
So he can just deep strike and doesn't need to get cosmic precision closeness.
Mm-hmm.
But right next to him will be Imhotep's unit, which will use the cosmic precision because he doesn't have deep strike. So you put those two, big commitment, but you put those two on the objective. Imhotep's unit with the Plasmancer will do its stuff.
Yeah.
And then as long as Trazyn's unit got something to shoot at, after shooting, the Chronomancer has a move. You move on to the objective.
Shoot and scoot,
And the sticky rules begin.
Yes, very
begin to sticky it.
Yes.
Let the stickying commence.
Yes.
So,
It's good. It's good. See, like Trazyn, for me, like I love Trazyn. I love the lore, love the book stuff, as we've just said. But on the tabletop, I can just never make him work. Like I put him on the list, and he's sticky. And I guess in my mind, I'm
not
always
saying
like,
I can make him work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need him to work though.
Yeah.
He's such a good model.
Yeah.
He's such a good model. But yeah, I always put him on the backfield, and I'm just like, right, it's now stickied. Teleport him, or just start running him up the field to then sticky other ones. But so do you keep him in the backfield and then teleport him, or do you keep him off the
He
field?
always starts off on an objective because you've got to get a free sticky.
Absolutely.
Free sticky,
Yeah.
and then he's off collecting stuff.
Yeah, I like
just
it.
do whatever. I like it.
He's off.
But again, for 75 points, it's not like a massive commitment. But again, the Warriors are 200, and then we got the Chronomancer you said inside of it as well.
It's hard.
75.
It's a lot of points. It feels like about 500, 600 points you've got. But you are
tough.
Almost definitely going to have that objective.
Yes. Yeah.
So primary objectives his army can do. But that leads us onto secondaries.
Well, yeah. I mean,
spicy.
I don't think I have a real struggle with.
Yeah. Do you prefer,
with this army?
Yeah. I was going to ask. Do you sidetracking? Do you prefer fixed or do you prefer random?
Oh, random all the time.
See, I do like random as well. It's just it makes the game more fun.
Yeah.
It changes the way the game flows as it goes on. When you choose fixed, it's like I've got to do this. Whereas tactical is just like right.
Yeah,
that's how a bit of fun.
I like not knowing.
It's definitely more fun. We went to an event, the Dominion War event, a few weeks ago, and that was the first time either of us. It was a doubles event. We both got paired with other people, and it was the first time either of us had done fixed. And it was a really interesting experience.
I was a bit thrown off. I was like, I don't really know any fixed ones. I don't really like the idea of it. And then I done it, and it was really good. But I was like, this is actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But
this army, because you've got 2 20 blobs of Necron warriors, you've got the Wraith unit, and then for a bit of extra shooty, you've got 3 Locust heavies with the Enmitic Exterminator, so like the infantry killers.
I learned that after facing orcs.
Yeah, that was definitely
you do get scarred, don't you?
It's the first thing anybody plays after getting beaten by orcs. The first thing you do is get some Enmitic Exterminators.
Three of them to be
That's exactly what happened, Dan. That's exactly to the letter what happened. My friend Harry came round with a fantastic green tide army.
Oh, lush.
And it was amazing. And I was really killing like 6 orcs a turn. Really killing them. They were properly dead. I was like, no, that's not enough per turn. Change guns.
I want more.
And then I've got a bit of anti-tank in there as well. You've got the fantastic monolith there. You've also got 2 of the heavies with the Gauss destructors as well.
Yeah,
a bit of tank killing.
Because it used to be 5 with the Gauss destructors until the orcs taught us that lesson.
It's an interesting one, and I think, like you said, you just mentioned there is like across that list, there's a lot of stuff going on there in terms of holding primary objectives. You've got 2 durable warrior blobs. You've got your Wraiths, which, like you said, they're going to give you 2 or 3 turns of holding an objective usually.
Hold the centre for a couple of turns.
But secondary wise is a bit.
awkward.
It's awkward.
Yeah,
It's tight, isn't it? Like I think you've got enough models there, but every one of those models, you're like, I mean, the Warriors, for example, you want to shoot them. You need to be shooting them.
Yes,
The Wraiths could probably get away with doing some ones, but again, that's a commitment of like 300 plus points. You want to move them up in the center. I mean, they could probably like do like deploy in the center. I think you can, and like establish.
I've been punishing the Deceiver for not delivering by putting them into secondary duties, but that's a huge commitment to a secondary, isn't it?
265 points.
Army,
Go there, Hypercrypt there, do nothing, think about what you did, and if you score me that secondary, maybe I'll let you come out.
Literally putting them in the naughty corner.
I like it. I like it. It's good. See, but for that one, I mean, let's say I like the Deceiver, but for what you just described, I then take the Transcendent Catan. Because I like the ability to be like, oh, right, this is a strong model. They're going to go around and do objectives. It's a 245, 250.
It's roughly the same points.
Roughly the same points, just to do exactly what you've just described. And that's built in. It
is an expensive action monkey, but it can teleport built in, and like the Deceiver, it is a lot of points to sink into secondaries, but it's not going to die. You drop it in somewhere, your opponent's not going to overwatch it and get rid of it and stop you scoring or anything like that.
Yeah, it is good. Do you remember what the Deceiver does at the start of the game as well?
Yeah, the redeploy. The redeploy. So before you know which player is going first, I think it's 3 units you can redeploy. Yeah. And it's always good to tell your opponent, look, she's a tricky so-and-so.
Yeah.
I can move 3 units. And surprising how still when you make a right power move with your monolith and you're going bang, and then they all hide over there. I did tell you.
Rubbing your hands like, well, I did tell you very quietly.
The monolith's an interesting one because you can obviously the synergies. I mean, obviously the monolith is good on its own because it's tanky, it's got great guns and that, but you can also pull units through the gates, can't you?
The eternity gate. Yeah.
Do you use that at all?
Yeah. So you know the tactic that we have already agreed. I'm overcommitting with the 2.
Yes.
Well, if you really want to watch me overcommit,
Hail Mary,
I'll stick the monolith there because you can use the eternity gate ability and the cosmic precision and Trazian's deep strike to start really going. No, I really want this objective.
Yeah.
You thought you had it.
Yeah.
And we're going to fight over it now.
I do like that.
Yeah. So I mean, the Warriors, Toy Warriors, that's like what, 40 OC, right? Because they've got 2 OC.
Yeah, 2 OC each.
Battle line units. So getting them on the objective, they're going to steal it from anyone. Yeah, realistically.
Should do. You should do. Which is why I like the random cards, objective cards, because we've all had those games, haven't we? You turn the cards and you go, I've got to do what?
Yeah.
All the way over there?
Yeah. Enemy lines, turn 1. Oh, here we go.
I know the Pharaon wants that, but what? Yeah. And I like that.
Good. Very nice. But I mean, like, do you take off the full 3 units or do you redeploy them or do they...
What with the Deceiver?
The Deceiver, because I rarely feel this. So like, do you bring them off and then they're in deep strike, or do you put them anywhere you want?
No, it's literally, correct me quickly, viewers, if I'm wrong here, but no, you deploy them as normal.
Yeah.
So they're not in reserve or anything. Nice. They're on the table.
All right.
As if everything's going to be normal.
Yeah.
As if they are really there, but they're not really there.
Like it's in the name, really.
And then you just move them and they're over there. Yeah. So all the deployment rules still apply. So you can't put them outside deployment zones, etc. But it is literally as if you didn't put them there.
Yeah.
Up to 3 units, you put them there.
Again, you mentioned with the monolith, it's just nice to have that flexibility of being like, oh look, I've overcommitted, oopsies, and then just like, what?
No, I can spread out to the 4 corners of the board if I want to next turn. Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, I never do because I'm into overcommitting.
Yeah.
Established that.
I think
we could do.
And you made some notes here about the Locust Destroyers. You're not so keen on the heavies. You like the other ones, don't you?
Just the normal destroyers. Oh,
yeah, you do.
I just love the destroyer cult element. So I just really like the idea of just, because again, for those points, again, they're good units. I don't like disagree with them, but I just feel like the normal destroyers have elements of both. They're not just like marine killers or chaff killers. They can also, with their lethal hits and their rerolls with their Locust Lord, they can get through vehicles as well. So that's kind of why I like both, and they're cheaper.
I think those are wise words, mate.
Yeah,
I think they are. And I'm not just saying that.
That's one of my advisories.
I do think I might check because I am kind of loath to take the Deceiver out just because it's part of why the vibe of I like the army.
This is why.
But I think changing the Locust out, So I've got 5, which is what 250 points, isn't it? Quick maths. I think I did that right. So for 250 points, you can get a lot of the standard.
It's like 30 points each, so 90 points per.
You get 90 points for 3, or if you
one big
unit with a Locust Lord is going to be just over your 250, but it's not far off. With a bit of jiggling, you can get it in.
Exactly. It's just the punch back, because if again they have the ability where if they're on an objective, you re-roll them. So I just love the idea of having that, like, let your opponent move up, think that they're in that perfect position for then you to, I guess, tie into how you play, where you just overcommit. Let them overcommit first, then you overcommit, but you can
overcommit those.
Exactly. But you bring in these destroyers that get the rerolls because they're on an objective, and it just punches so much harder. Like, it's
that'd be a good fun swap out.
It's worth a try. I think funnily enough, at the moment, because of where the meta is, I'm hearing a lot from competitive players that the 3 heavies with the Enmitic is a good investment. You can also, if you can find the points, whack a Locust Lord with them, because they get sustained hits. So if you're getting sustained hits on fives, then all of a sudden you're rolling like numbers of dice for them. Because if
Jack's saying swap them, you're saying keep them.
I'm just saying,
You've given me a dilemma now, lads.
Who are you gonna pick? You're gonna pick one over. Who'd you like the most? But no, I think both work. I think it just depends on kind of what games you play. You mentioned you don't play very many competitive games.
No,
you're very much more casual.
I mean, I would agree. I mean, the thing, even at any level, we would always advise the way we would do it is like try it for 2 or 3 games, because then just see what you think. If you've got the models, or you can borrow them, chuck them in and see if it works for you and fits your play style.
It's fun to tinker, isn't it?
It is.
It is fun to take a part off your engine, put a bit on, see how that goes.
Put a bit of nos in there. I have no idea about cars, but no, I think that's I think 2 fantastic things there. You need to try it, you need to tinker it, because if you keep on playing the game 3 or 4 times, you'll get used to playing the model. Again, there was a unit, the Scorbeck Destroyers. You haven't got any of these in your list. I can never make them work, but you swore by them.
Absolutely love them.
Yeah, but I can never make them work. And again, it comes down to the play style. So play these guys that we recommend, and then just see how it is for a couple of turns. If you hate it, then just mess through and be like, you guys suck.
Well, I think that's very true. Is like, and it's very player based, because if we advise you to play something because it fits with our play style and it doesn't fit with yours, it doesn't mean that you're not using them right, or you're not a good player or whatever. It's part of the fabric of your army, and it has to fit in. Has to fit in.
I think the monolith that you've got the Death Rays. We didn't mention that. You've got the Death Rays. They pack the punch. So that
they're called Death Rays.
Exactly. Yeah, it's in the name, right?
You've got to have them.
You've got to have them. Yeah.
So I think that getting rid of the heavy destroyers and replace the Locust ones, in my personal opinion.
You think you've got enough anti-tank?
You've got enough anti-tank here to warrant it. That's my idea.
Have I got enough anti-tank for an overcommitter though?
Yeah. No, that's a good show. That's good. Depends on your player style.
You're trying to balance me out, which I appreciate. But where's the overcommit in your plan?
Where's the singular mind? I must go forward, never back.
I
like it.
No.
I mean, some of the things I would like to highlight is on your advisories is what's holding your backfield objective. I couldn't work out what's holding your home objective. Are you just sticking it and then nicking off? Yeah, I love it.
Just like forget about it. I only focus what's in
busted.
front.
I'm like, one of my backfield objectives will be sticked, and then because it's invariably 2 in your deployment zone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or 2 your side of the table. So one Trazan will deploy on. So that's my safe. He's got it.
Yeah.
Safe. Safe. Got it. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. That's and then if in the second turn there's nothing really, the cards aren't telling me to do anything, then we'll stick you that one, and then we're off. But like you say, it's just
even if you got
don't look in the rear view, we're off.
Even if you had sticky, but like maybe replace, I brought I found 40 points for some scarabs, then scarabs could not, because obviously scarabs can't hold because they've got no OC, but since it's already sticky, have some scarabs back there just to prevent the deep strike ability, because then that would mean that they'd have to at least deep strike in one turn, charge the scarabs the next turn, and then on their third turn, that's when they take it. By that point, it might already be over. So maybe something as a little advisory.
I like that's good. That word advisory is stuck, hasn't it?
I like
a little advisory. But you haven't. What I like doing is if someone has the audacity of stealing one of Trazin's objectives, it is already bags it. It is. That's mine now. Then then I'll overcommit into recovering it. So I can be baited really easy, and I'm aware of that.
But
it's part of it's part of the fun. Like if what would Trazan do? That's exactly what he would do, isn't it?
Yeah, he's not going to hang around.
No, he's not.
He's going to look. He's got his thing, but there might be something better.
That's true. Another it looks
rarer,
more shiny.
Shinier.
Yeah. And you mentioned touching this as well, talking about the Mythic Destroyers, but there's a lot of the more competitive mindset, I suppose, would think about a hammer and anvil. And there's, in my mind, there's a lot of anvil in your list, but maybe it's not enough hammer. Like, are you doing enough damage to? And it depends on how you use the warriors, really, because there's a lot of those are the big point sinks. But are they killing enough stuff? I mean, not saying that we should get rid of the warriors, but if they're not killing enough stuff, if they're more for holding objectives, we need something else to thin the enemy out.
Yeah, they are there to make the characters have 20 ablative wounds around them.
Yeah.
You know, until precision comes along and spoils your plan. But you don't invite that friend around ever again.
That friend,
you're going to start doing shenanigans like that.
That friend that brings 3 Imperial Assassins. Yeah.
Surrender to him one, be like, it's a good game.
Please say this was fun. I'm not having fun. But so, they're there for 20 ablative wounds for the characters. And they are killing stuff, but only enough to take a primary objective each turn.
Yeah,
that's the mission. How the machine works.
And do you find that working in games, like from your experience?
It's a head you win, tails you lose. To be honest, sometimes it works and it works great. Yeah. It did not work against orcs.
Oh, a lot of boys.
So my friend Harry, he brought his, as I mentioned before, loads of boys and a big Gorkanaut thing.
I love that. Yeah,
great big Gorkanaut. So
Stomper, is it, or is it a
Stomper?
Stomper?
Yeah, there's two of them. There's a Stomper, and then the Gorkanaut's the even bigger one.
Oh, so so it wasn't the dustbin size one.
Yeah,
it was the sandpit bucket size one.
Yeah, still massive,
still big, and so that was fine.
Yeah.
Monolith said bye bye to that. That was fine.
Nice.
But then I then had far too many heavy locust destroyers.
Yeah.
No mythic exterminators at all.
Yeah.
Loads of anti-tank, and there was just a swarm of lads.
Yeah.
And the warriors they did okay.
Yeah.
For 2 turns, but then it was turn 3, too close. Can I hear the word war?
Yeah.
I can. And then
It was like you're talking about overcommit. Like his list enabled him to overcommit you in terms of bodies, sheer numbers of bodies.
Yeah, he did.
It's sometimes hard to admit when like a war happens, you need to go backwards. The mindset of everyone out there will be like, I need to go forward, I need to get on the objectives. But when like they have such a tied list like that, you do have enough shooting in this list, I would probably say, but you've just got to move backwards. If they war, let them waste it. Just move back. Like
I in hindsight, that's exactly what I should have done.
But it's hard, isn't it?
But at the time, I was looking for somewhere to hyperphase.
Yeah.
Harry had very cleverly blocked out. You
Most of
can't
the
quite
places,
go there.
yeah.
You can't quite go there. You know, it's like, well, I could go there.
Yeah.
No, I can't. You know, it's like, damn you.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be clever. You're supposed to be orcs.
I mean, it's sheer volume of numbers. They will screen out a lot of deep strike, like a lot of that 9-inch, or sometimes even the cosmic precision 3 inches. It's very difficult with that. Just if they can put 120 boys on the table, you're going to struggle to find places to drop in.
We had a friend who brought 120.
Yeah, he did.
Boys to one game.
He was playing knights, wasn't he?
He was
against
playing
knights,
and he's just like swarm. It was like what's it? War of the Worlds, where he's climbing up the side of the wall.
I like that imagery though. Yeah. I did fall in love with the idea of a green tide army that day as well. So no way a sore lose. I'm like the way I processed that was, well, that's my next army.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that. Yeah,
that fits how I like to move forward.
Yeah.
I don't like going backwards.
Overcommit in a different way.
Yeah. You've got it. That's it. You got to play to your strengths, mate.
I like it.
One of the things I know we talked about moving the Deceiver. I wondered if the Wraiths were up for grabs, are they an auto include?
No, they're not an auto include. In fact, that's probably where if you said, right, son, what are you going to ditch?
Yeah.
It would be the Wraiths.
All right.
Yeah.
See, I feel like, how much are the Wraiths again? Like
335 points with the Technomancer.
With the Technomancer. See, I'm a mad, because again, this is probably where my
like
kind of, I love them, but I love flayed ones more.
Yeah, yes,
and I feel like flayed ones, since they're being cheaper, are those kind of ones to do those little action monkey kind of things to bring back those secondaries that you really lacking. So the Wraiths, get rid of those, bring in some 2-3 squads of flayed ones because they can infiltrate further up the board. So
you can deploy them on an objective at the start of the game.
So you don't need to worry about overcommitting. They're already there. Once you,
I don't worry about it.
Yeah,
He loves it.
You're happy. You want to.
I worry about not overcommitting.
Yeah.
No, your
mindset.
flayed ones might be a really good shout to
just love
swap for those. Actually,
I just love them. I just think they're great. So I'm very biased towards them.
You absolutely, they're
I
not to
swear by
include
them.
for you. I think the other thing is, if you've got north of 300 points, is you could swap them for the Void Dragon or the Nightbringer.
2 Catans.
It would mean you would have 2 Catans, unless we'll come on to that in a minute. But they for your play style of like yeeting things up the board and then causing your opponent problems, they've got the durability, but also a bit more damage output than the Wraiths.
and you want that distraction carnifex thing going on, don't you? Right,
Definitely,
Deal with Catans so that Trazan can just pick all
he can
just pocket all this stuff that he wants.
You know? I mean, use constant position to get in the backfield and just watch it go. It's so good.
I also like the idea that, of course, you know, the Necron characters would absolutely overcommit their shards.
Because, they don't care for them. Go.
Get some hurt.
Yeah. Show me the damage.
I think that's an option. You could, points wise, you could swap the Race and the Techno out for 6 Scorpex and a Scorpec Lord and a Hexmark. So the Hexmark can do lots of uppy downy stuff for scoring your secondaries.
Lovely model as well.
It is.
We've just done a unit review about that. So
yes, you have.
Watch out for that one. And then, but the Scorpex with the Scorpec Lord, there is a strat that you can pop them out of the monolith and charge them. I think it's 2 CP, so it's a bit pricey. But you've got Imhotep in this list who farms you command points, doesn't he? Which is great.
Yeah.
So they can, if you want to talk about overcommitting, if you can get your opponent to put something out in the open that you want to get at, the monolith is there, brings these guys through, and they will 6 Scorpex with a Scorpec Lord on the charge will put the hurt on most things.
And again, they're good models as well, aren't they?
I really like.
He loves them.
I really.
What you've just said sounds
models.
perfect. I can never make that work. I fail the charge, mess up the rules. I just never get it to work. But you swear by it.
There's no wrong or right, is there? Because
no.
Every army kind of the collector and owner of that army channels their vibe.
Yes, very much.
And for me, Necrons feel more shooty and clever tricks up their sleeves than melee. Of course, with the whole destroyer court, I've just neglected to mention there. But that's just not my vibe. But actually, that would be. I like the.
There's a nice synergy.
There's
a nice synergy with the monolith. But if it's not the vibe of the army, don't do it. Obviously, a hex mark or 2, particularly in this detachment. Again, go and watch our video. I know this sounds like a transparent plug, but in this detachment, the hex mark worked really well because of that up and down ability to score your secondaries. And that's not. Then that means it's not too many points because they're like 70 points each. So you can still keep most of your toys.
And the lone operative keeps him safe a bit.
Overcommit him, and then if he dies, then it's like 70 points.
If he dies, he dies.
That's it. But he's done the points. I'm done.
I think that's what I'm going to go for.
He's also got a free Overwatch ability, and he's also got this ability to once per turn he can shoot back. So if he can babysit the warriors to a certain degree. He's only got 18-inch range, I think, on his pistols.
Yes, correct.
But once per shooting phase, your opponent goes, right, I'm going to shoot those warriors, and after they've shot them, the hex mark goes, well, I'm going to shoot you back. I absolutely love.
Because you can also keep him close to your other warriors as well. So obviously, if you bring in your warriors, overcommit, have him close by, so if anyone shooting comes in, they'll shoot back as well.
That sounds good. And that sounds fun.
We've circled around this a little bit, but to finish off with, I think we need to talk about the Deceiver as well, because you said you're also open to the suggestion of maybe leaving the Deceiver on the shelf.
But I think maybe not now because time doesn't permit.
Yeah.
But one moment in our future or in your podcast future, most people have a Catan.
Yeah.
If you love your Catan, great. Leave him or her in.
Yeah.
But if you want to take a Catan out, what would you? They're at what 200, 225 points.
Oh, easily, yeah.
I think that was 260.
265, that one.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a Catan, so it begs a question, doesn't it? Same as this army. If you took the Catan out, what would you replace it with?
It's hard because, again, this is you've got the Golden Fist, who's got a lot of melee.
She's the best in melee.
The Catans.
Maybe the Nightbringers.
Nightbringers on a par.
Yeah.
What about you, Dan? What would you replace?
Well, Simon.
Have you prepared something?
A little speech.
Okay, I'm braced.
Yeah, no, just points-wise, I had a look at it and I thought try and do 3 different things. So the first one is to add in some shooty punch, which you can use for shooting vehicles and also elite monsters, those kind of things, which is the Doomsday Arc. And the Doomsday Arc works really well again in the in this detachment Hypercrypt because you can almost guarantee you're going to get line of sight.
Yeah, good model as well.
It is beautiful.
Nothing not to like about that.
Yeah. You can also fit 5 death marks in there, which is a unit we haven't talked about, but they also good at sniping enemy characters and good at cheap and good at scoring secondaries, aren't they? So
certainly are.
So that's one option.
It also solves the fact that you don't really hold back objectives.
Yeah,
because you'd sit it on one of those, wouldn't you?
Exactly. You can definitely do that. Or alternatively, one of the other ways you could do it is this is a bit more janky, I suppose, but you can add in 5 Immortals and an Overlord and then 2 more Locust Heavy Destroyers with the Gauss Destructors, which gets you some bit more anti-tank. I know you disagree with me because you think they're monoliths enough. I like to overinvest in anti-tank.
He's an overcommitter.
Yeah, very much so.
I know what we're seeing.
I think the reason that what we'll do with this one is what this enables you to do is Immotech farming your CP. CP in Hypercrypt is a really command point hungry detachment, and if Immotech is bouncing, is it up there, and he's going to get sniped out or something. If you can drop him on the back objective with 5 Immortals, he'll sit there all game and get you 5 CP, and he's a nice deterrent to stop somebody dropping in there to try and steal it from you, and then that means that then the Overlord can go with the other unit of warriors and provide them. He gives them actually a strat for -1 CP as well, doesn't it? It's not free entirely anymore. No. But most of your strats are like 1 CP. Tactics. Yeah, so you can use an extra stratagem for effectively for free every turn. So that gives you another bit of utility with that unit as well. Or you could go just pure secondaries, like Jack was saying. You could you get some flayed ones and some hex marks. You've got quite a lot of points to play with there. Yeah, and that gives you an awful lot more utility. But those are 3 options I would
talk about enabling someone to buy more.
Oh no,
it's not my fault anymore.
Sorry. No. But I think I'm really behind the flayed ones and hex marks. They're such good secondaries.
Try them all. Let's try all those ideas out.
It depends on what you've got on the shelves, really. Like if you've been collecting for a while and you've got some of these models that are there, then give them a try or borrow some off a pal or whatever.
Well, I've got none of the units you've mentioned, which is great. Because that means I can get them.
We're enabling.
Yeah.
The Doomsday Arc and the Death Marks might be out of all of those the easiest way to do it, but the Doomsday Arc does take a bit of building. But you've built a monolith. If you built a monolith, then you're all right.
Doomsday Arc. I don't know, but it's horrible.
No. Yeah, it's not.
There's not much more. I mean, to be fair, the flayed ones are probably worse.
They break, don't they?
They are horrible.
They are.
Break as you take them off the sprue. Break as you glue them. Break as you travel them.
They've got.
Yeah.
The long claws, but I'm in the process of building 5 at the moment, and I say I'm in the process because I built 3 and then gave up. But
give these to Jack.
I went on holiday.
Happy birthday.
It was the magazines. I bought the cheap magazines.
Yeah,
bought like 30 of them. And I was like, I'll build them on holiday.
Yeah,
worst holiday of my life. Like building and painting all them were horrible. But I've done it.
The Doomsday Arc isn't on that level, but I built one, and then the other 2 I bought secondhand because I was never building another one again. So, if you haven't got a Doomsday Arc, it's a nice model, and it's definitely
it works in every detachment.
It's a
very good
one to have. And the Death Marks are quite fun to build, and I just think they're cool. Nice to have a little bit of that sort of snipe. They've got that precision. If you can
those characters.
Your opponent starts sniping your characters, you can get him back, which I do like. So there's some good options there, I think. And obviously, for those people that have been watching along at home, I can absolutely guarantee you'll probably have some great ideas, perhaps better ideas than us on what to spend those points on instead of a Catan. But I think it's a brilliant question that you've raised there, because almost everybody's got at least one in their army. What would you if you had to get rid of it, what would you do without it?
People probably say other Catans. It's like, no, I get it.
That's cheating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Scrap that.
I mean, there's an opportunity there to say, swap it for something else and swap the race out for something else. But it's finding that balance that suits your play style, really.
Yeah, definitely.
And me having that narrative strand to the way I game.
Yeah, exactly.
In that game against those orcs, and you kind of channel your Traz in. I was like, right, I am you are going to earn your keep, girl. So you are being thrown right into. So the deceiver was intentionally thrown right at the mob, right with eyes
Right
on
in the middle.
on Ghazghkull Thraka, and she did kill Ghazghkull Thraka.
Class.
But. And then quickly went down because she's surrounded by the mob.
Just disappeared
torn
under those
down.
horde of
Thousand
Yeah.
attacks coming in.
That golden light
buckets
went
of dice.
out.
Yeah. Very nice. Very good. It's a very good list, though. I think what you've built is it's definitely playable and it's definitely fun. And I like that thematic element because, again, even if you come across those boys, it's like, well, I'm going to go down fighting and I'm going to have fun. Like, I'm going to do what I want.
I think
very good list.
I mean, obviously, this is the first time we've met, but we've talked quite a bit on over social media and stuff as well. But this list really sums you up to me. Is I know for a fact that I would have a great game playing against this list, and that's really at the end of the day what it's all about, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah, you both got to have fun.
Yeah,
You make it, You make a game for exactly. Yeah. It's not just like, oh, I'm here to win. It's like I'm going to position all your guys. That's like, oh, this is not fun.
It's your opponent, not your enemy.
Yeah,
that's your friend over there.
Yeah, you're right.
Depends who you play.
Familiarity.
Yeah.
You would not like our friendship group.
Oh, right, okay.
Straight to the throat.
Yeah.
One visit only.
Yeah.
I won't come back.
Well, thank you very much for bringing these beautiful models up and for allowing us to talk through that. I think it's brilliant to get a different perspective like yours on the game because we take list building a little bit. We're not super competitive. We take it a little bit more seriously, and to think about it more thematically is food for thought, really, isn't it?
I think it's just because of the people who we play against. They're just like, I want to win. It's like, oh, I've got to build a list that is like designed to win.
You've got to dance to the music that's playing.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in another video that we're going to do. But like the fun of 40k is what you make it. So if you like this list, as long as you tell your opponent like, hey, look, I'm playing this list. It's not like the ultra mega competitive list. Let's build a list that we're going to have fun with. And I think that's one of the better ways to play a 40k. I would say,
and I think that's the majority of players out there.
It absolutely
is.
Yeah. There's a lot more players out there who don't go to the competitive scene but just want to play in their local club, and that's exactly the type of list you want to build to have fun. Because again, you're there to play, and there's five turns. Don't make it 2 turns. Don't table them by turn 2. Play the full 5 games. Let's have fun.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, we've certainly given you some ideas on what you're going to spend your
money
on. Overall, it's been a fascinating discussion for me. I've actually learned a lot about you explaining your thinking behind how you use this, and it's given me some ideas about different ways I can use stuff and incorporate it into my list.
That's a good swap.
I feel like I want to play Trazan now. Like,
he's coming back out.
Read the book. Read the book again. You probably already read
twice.
Read it again.
If you watching haven't read The Infinite and the Divine, it is absolutely one of the best books in the library. It's well worth looking at.
Good audio book as well.
Yeah, really good.
That's how I.
So
busy dad, can't read. I can listen.
Exactly.
Brilliant. If you're wondering a bit more about what Rally Point does and why we're all wearing purple t-shirts, then there's another video about that which we'll link. So please go and watch that as well. But in the meantime, thank you so much for coming on and bringing these up.
Thank you for your thoughts, and thank you in advance for your thoughts too.
So I hope you've really enjoyed that video. I know we've enjoyed discussing it. Please remember to like, share and subscribe. It's really helping the channel grow at the moment. And we'll be back soon with another video.
Thanks so much.
Cheers.